Elliciaromo here, and I am so excited. Today I have with me Lynette Clemens, who is the team leader of AZ Value Builders. They are part of Keller Williams Legacy One. And Lynette is going to talk to us a little bit about her first transaction ever. Lynette, tell us about your first sale ever. Did you work with a buyer or a seller for your first ever transaction?
Well, Alicia, thank you very much for having me. And my first transaction was 16 years ago. It was April of, I guess, 2004. So yeah, just barely happened. And it was somebody that I knew before. I'd actually worked with her in another world when I was a customer service trainer for Bank One back then. And so she was my very first buyer. Her name was Auburn and her husband, Jared. And yeah, it was a brand new build. So it was pretty fun and exciting to go in and see the house and pick everything out with her. And she waited until I passed my test, and then we went straight in and signed her in. And about, I guess, 6 months later, she moved into that house.
Awesome. So because it was a new build, obviously it took a little bit longer. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. She wasn't my first closing, but she was my first buyer. Yes.
Okay, awesome. And are you still in contact with that person today?
You know, actually, yes. In fact, this last summer of 2019, I took a trip up the coast, and she now lives in Washington, and I spent the night at her house. So we spent a couple days together. Yeah.
Wow. So she moved away, and it's 16 years later, and you're still in contact with her. That is awesome.
And she's a realtor now.
No way! How exciting!
Yeah, 2 years ago she got her license. So
now you guys can share referrals.
Exactly.
Very cool. Tell us, what was the most gratifying thing about that first sale you did?
Well, I mean, obviously being able to help your friends is something that's really cool, and being there with them. I remember having the lockbox and just being able to open a door to something that somebody else couldn't get into. I thought that was kind of cool. But again, I was a single mom at that time. And for me, I had 3 little kids. And so I think for me, it was getting that first check and realizing that I was going to be able to support myself. So that was kind of cool.
Awesome. So exciting. Thank you so much, Lynette, for sharing your story today. And for everybody else, we're going to be doing a series of interviews with Lynette, learning more about her business, her team, and how she makes a difference, not only in the world of real estate, but in the community. So if you want to learn more about Lynette, stay in tune for the rest of these videos.
Thank you.